What's going on, family? It's your boy Simo the C Mitchell checking in with another Falcons Bird Bath weekly on Point Game Official. And impressive win. I don't want to say impressive, but it's a good win, and you'll take any win that you can get in this league. Wins are very hard to come by. It was a somewhat ugly game. We definitely put up a lot of points. I'm very happy with the points. On the surface level, I'm not necessarily as happy with the defense giving up 27 points to a Washington team, but I think it's very much worth noting that this Washington team does have some very talented players. They still have Deebo Samuel out there. Their running backs are pretty solid. Ja'Cory Cross-Key Merritt, Chris Rodriguez, both of those guys had pretty solid rushing days. As you see, the Commanders had 147 yards on the ground on 22 carries, which isn't what you want to see from your defense. You don't want to give up quite that much, but we were pretty much the epitome of a bend but don't break defense. We forced an interception, and I don't know if you want to say force it as much as it was probably a bad decision for them to throw that pass that they did. But we've got a guy in Watts out there who's shaping up really nice as a rookie. He's one of those guys that if you put the ball in harm's way, he will make you pay for it. You have to think twice before some of your plays that you make with a guy like that. And that's going to pay dividends for us a lot down the line. Teams are going to really reconsider before they go for certain passes. As they say, trying a guy. He's one of those guys that you don't want to just try, because if your arm and your accuracy in the way it should be, it's going to wind up a pick. So a quarterback like Mariota should not be as much of an issue for us moving forward. But looking at these stats again, Mariota was not great today. 16 of 27. The box score looks a lot more in favor of the Commanders than it would if it wasn't. If you didn't know what actually happened in the game. If you're just looking at the score, you assume the Commanders had a much better chance. And it did go down a little bit closer than you wanted. But if you look at the stats, Bijan, 75 yards on 17 carries, which is not necessarily a great average. Well, actually, I think that puts him above 4 yards per carry. Let's do the breakdown on that. At 75. And I was told there would be no math, so forgive me, guys. But that's actually pretty solid. 4.4 yards per carry. Drake London, 110 yards receiving. Drake had 110 yards receiving on 8 receptions, and Bijan gave you another 4 receptions for 106 yards. And then Kyle Pitts chipped in another 70 yards for you right there. So and Doe was in the chat saying like, yeah, no, Mariota's about to run all over us. And it's like, nah, man, we got speed out there. And I'm just gonna put the stats up real quick. Team stats. This defense, the biggest stat that I love is that we caused Washington to be 1 of 8 on third downs today. That is huge. And we also, so far, we haven't given up even 300 yards in the game. Today they were just under 300. Talking about total yards. 294 with total offense. They had on passing, if I'm not mistaken, as far as their passing is concerned, they weren't exactly great there either. The Falcons actually did a pretty good job of being that bend but don't break defense, and we were also able to muster up a sack today. I guess a sack that's split between 2 people, well, more than 1 sack. If you go back and look at, like, to your credit, you mentioned Caden Ellis, who had a half a sack. Leonard Floyd had a half a sack with him, and then you got Zach Harrison out here as well. Yeah, so 3 players who got in on sacks, but 2 sacks total, and that's how it's supposed to be on defense. Defense is not always pretty. It's a total team effort on defense. A lot of defense is hustle plays and just running to the ball and being in the right place. And Zach Harrison is really starting to pan out as one of our biggest X factors on this defense. He's a guy that plays a whole lot of snaps for us. I have to look at the snap counts. You brought up Divine Deablo. And you were saying that Caden Ellis and Zach Harrison were probably two of your standout defensive players of the game.
Right.
This particular game. And you brought up Divine Deablo though. He's a guy who has been huge for us, even though he's not always necessarily making plays that are particularly showing up on the stat sheet. He's doing a lot that frees up Caden Ellis to be able to play more aggressively and play a little bit more of a wild card joker role, if you will, allowing him
Right.
to be able to blitz and do things that he wouldn't have been able to do last year. I was in another group, and I've mentioned to you several times how there was somebody who told us that we should have held on to Nate Landman, who we had here last year. But if we had Nate Landman here instead of Divine Deablo, he becomes a bit of a pass coverage liability. And just on like really short things or being able to, just get into some of the passing lanes, he doesn't have the same quickness or being able to cover backs out of the backfield or even get to the edge in the same way. So because he's able to be such a disciplined player and just a do-your-job guy, it allows Caden Ellis to freelance a little bit more. It's almost like having a really good free safety in somebody like Earl Thomas, so that Cam Chancellor could kind of go do the things that he wants to do. Or
That's
we had,
correct.
when Troy Polamalu was up in Pittsburgh, Ryan Clark doing a lot of that dirty work allowed Troy to be able to roam a little bit more and just kind of change things on the fly. I know we don't have quite that much in Caden Ellis as that type of athlete, but yeah, Divine Deablo is huge because he doesn't give up anything in that passing dynamic. So he's great in the nickel. As we all know, a lot of these teams are running three receiver sets, and they're putting teams in nickel at around 60% of the time. The Falcons, we're definitely in nickel over half of the time. So he doesn't create a liability in passing, but he also doesn't create a liability against the run. I think he's a lot better versus the run than Troy Andersen, and probably even Nate Landman as well too, because he can make plays that Nate Landman just can't make. He can get tackles for losses.
Divine Diablo is definitely an upgrade
An
from
upgrade every
Nate
way.
Landman.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know some people think that Nate Landman is so great against the run, but just me myself, I remember looking at a lot of plays last year and dissecting a lot of film where it seems like sorry, not Divine Deablo, but Nate Landman is not pressing the line of scrimmage, and he's still sitting there while your offensive lineman is 3-4 yards into the defensive backfield, right at the mid level. You cannot, as a linebacker, allow for the big boys up front to outflank you and get in your way. You have to have those guys chasing you, or you got to go hit them at the point of contact a lot faster. Because
Boom. Yeah, that's key. Like you can't. You got to read and react, but there's only so much. You gotta be in attack mode. You got to hit the right gaps, and see that what made people like Pat Willis, Ray Lewis, so great. They read the way that they read it. They shoot the gap on you real quick, and they blow you up in the gap. They wasn't waiting. Like when that guy Evans was here, he made 130 tackles or something that year, but they were all like, past the line of scrimmage. It was not, you wasn't meeting nobody in the gap. You as a linebacker, you supposed to be squaring your pads and hugging them up in that hole. That's why guys like Amin Yada is up there. They supposed to keep you clean so you can go sideline to sideline. You don't get caught in the wash. The wash, for people that don't know, is when you're playing too close to the line of scrimmage, then you can't move from side to side. So you get washed up in all that trash in front of you. So you don't want to. You want to, and that's what Divine, he snuffs that stuff out. And even if Caden Ellis, like you said, if Caden Ellis is off on his tears and chasing the quarterback, or because a lot of times that's what they're asking him to do. They're asking him to be the more violent one. And then so the Divine Diablo is the one that's gonna have to drop the coverage and get the middle zone, or that hook. That he probably ain't gonna run a hook, but he'll run that curl zone. In the middle. The curl zone is right outside of the middle a little bit. Um, he does all that stuff, but then he still gets in there and snuff those little runs out. That's why the run game isn't because a lot of people don't pay attention, but we're just not the biggest on the interior. We're not a huge interior line type of thing. So the linebackers, everything should be flushed back to them. And if they're not making the plays and making the tackles, that's where they get off in the run at. And nobody's been able to do that. The Divine Deablo, he reads it just like that. So him and Caden Ellis is great chemistry. Landman is great, and he's worth mentioning, but he's not. He absolutely, from just the little bit of time that we've seen, that he definitely not Divine Deablo.
Right. I want to give a shout out real quick to my boy Berto over at the 95 North Falcons sports show, man. You're doing big things out there with Bleacher Report. And one of the biggest just really stand-up dudes who reached out to me early on when I first started doing a lot of this podcasting and giving some support and just showing me the ropes of telling me, hey, this really works for you. That's a good look. You know, not having that LDE is we. If you think about the acronyms, you guys know what LDE is. But I want to give a big shout out to you, homie, for that. Make sure you guys tune into his podcast as well. They have
much love, brother.
Really
much
good
love.
Insight, man, for certain. But going back to the defense today, and even what we were saying about Divine Deablo and Caden Ellis, if we I'm going to put the stats on the screen again real quick. But this team had 4 tackles for loss. Leonard Floyd got us a tackle for loss, who's actually been huge. That's been a huge signing. Like, yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Say it. Give him his flowers, bro.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Give him, because a lot of people slept on that acquisition, but I didn't. I knew for a fact, because like I told you, I'm a big time stat guy, right? So when Leonard Floyd came free, he didn't sit in free agency for what? What was it, a day?
Right.
Not even a day. They snapped him up in a matter of hours, and he gave us the hometown discount. I don't know if y'all realize it, but Leonard Floyd is only making $10 million guaranteed. That's it. No bonus, no incentive. He just getting straight $10 million guaranteed. Let me get his Zendarius Smith. That's his name. And Ogundeji. I can't remember his first name. Those are your 2 guys that were in free agency. And I promise you, I think they are both around 14 to 17 million. And Leonard Floyd numbers was better than he had 8 sacks last year. I think 10 sacks the year before that, 8 sacks, 10 sacks, 11 sacks. He stayed in that ballpark for the entirety of his career for the most part. So numbers wise, his numbers was better than both of them. It wasn't even a day and night type of thing, no comparison. He was the absolute best pass rusher to hit free agency this year. And I'm saying hit free agency because of what's the boy name that's down. He was with the Eagles, and he plays for the Tampa Bay now. Hassan Reddick. He didn't hit free agency though. They had to trade for him, right? So, but even Hassan Reddick's numbers wasn't Leonard Floyd's number. And you got to be real about it. Now, I ain't saying that Hassan didn't. When he was on his tear, he wasn't doing his thing, but Leonard Floyd numbers were still better. So I'm glad you gave him his roses. I'm glad you give him his flowers, because of the fact that so many people slept on that acquisition.
And you know, the interesting thing as well is that I just think that Leonard Floyd is also more of a true three down player on the edge, whereas Hassan Reddick, he's had a lot more inconsistencies. Leonard Floyd, he's not always, I don't think he's ever been like a 12 or 15 sack type of guy, but he's definitely hit those double digits, and if he did, it's probably in that 10 to maybe 12 range. But he's good for a 7, 8, 9 sacks, and especially if you put him with another guy. And so what he did for us was huge in comparison when you look at somebody like Matthew Judon last year. Matthew Judon had a lot of plays that
nothing.
As my coach would call it in college, loafing plays.
Right.
So, come Monday,
I can go back to the year before him, Bud Dupree and Calais Campbell. All those guys 6 sacks, and then the one that they did retain was the one Ebiketie. He had 6 sacks. So Leonard Floyd, even with the 8 sacks, he transcended them. Yeah. Even with the 8 sacks, he transcended them with his weakest year. And I want to say that's pretty much his weakest year is 8 sacks. He still beat them out. So what are we really talking about? And he on pace to do 10 this year if he keep hitting. Because I think what he had might be 3, either 2 or 3 right now. So I mean, he on pace to hit that 10 sack in between 9 and 10 sacks if he keep going like he's doing.
Yeah, he's been huge so far, and I'll just give you guys some of the stats real quick. Right now, I mean, it's not much. It's a sack and a half, but that's been big in conjunction with some of the other guys. I don't even think he's even our team leader right now. Zach Harrison's been up there, and we've had James Pierce Jr. Playing really well. And I'm gonna go back and look at the all 22 tape. We'll do a lot of breakdown later on in the week to let you guys know what we were seeing as far as that. But I really like what I'm seeing out of this defense. Even though the numbers are not always there, I feel more confident like this is a professional defense. This is a defense that if you need them to make a stop, they can do it for you. Like I said, they haven't given up over 300 yards. They haven't let a team hit the 300-yard mark yet. And with all the injuries that we have right now, all these guys that have been banged up, I know going into the beginning of the season, people were saying that they didn't like how we had the bye week so early at week 5 coming up. But this bye week is coming up right at the perfect time. We got Drake London and Darnell Mooney who've been banged up with shoulder injuries. Drake still balled out this week, but we don't know what these guys are. We don't know if these guys are having to shoot some type of pain tolerance thing so that they could just go ahead and get some type of epidural so that they could go out there and compete at the same level that they are. But we definitely have a team of guys that are not necessarily at full 100%. DeMarco Helms has missed some time here and there. Even Fuller has had some issues just today. Xavier Watts, I don't recall what the exact injury was. We'll get some more.
Looked like he caught a stinger. Looked like he caught what's called a stinger because he popped right back up and kept rolling.
And see,
if you hurt your shoulder, you're not going.
You know, it's really hard to play football without your shoulders being intact.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I gotta spin the block with you on this. Now the Zach Harrison and Floyd sacks, is that counting today? Because I'm looking at Zach Harrison, he got 1.5. I know he got one today, right?
So let me actually pull up their game stats. I believe that
I'm thinking that probably that one.
No, it's counting for today because if you you may not be able to see it on the screen yourself, but everybody out there in the actual stream, as we can see, Leonard Floyd had a sack versus Minnesota, and he had a half a sack today versus Washington and 0 versus 10. Yeah, all so right. That's where those stats are pretty up to date right at this moment. Cool. As far as the team leader for this Falcons team,
who's that?
I want to say that it's probably Zach Harrison off the top of my head, but let me not lie.
You said this little thing I was looking at said 1.5. That was the ESPN, but I don't know if they updated it after the game today. It said 1.5.
And who was that you were looking at? Talking about Leonard Floyd?
No, that was Zach Harrison. I was looking at Zach Harrison. That's why I was asking that question because I don't know how like ESPN all update their stuff because you could just pull up the player and then that's all I did. I don't know what avenue you took. I just pull up the player and it said he had like 4 tackles.
Yeah, it's showing Leonard Floyd, Zach Harrison, and Dorless all at 1.5. Let me actually go and hop into their actual game log. So these stats might be updating in real time. If we look at it, Zach Harrison now, he actually has 2.5 sacks. So if you were to look at the team stats right now, it would not show that. It would show that he only has 1.5. And to your credit, much to your credit, that makes sense because I remember against Minnesota he had 1.5. So it's like that. It had me to go and double check. But I think Zach might be our number one guy if it's not Dorless, man. Those guys.
I know that guy too.
Zach got to be. Well, I mean, he has to be our number one guy then.
Because I seen that. I remember the two he got. He got one in Minnesota that was like at the last. He was the only one to get one in the second half because they had most of all the sacks. They got 6 or 5 or 6 sacks. They had 5 sacks in the beginning. They got one in the second. He was the only one that got that sack in the second half. So that's one right there.
Yep.
And then he probably got in on an extra one, and then he got one today. So that's 2.5.
And so another thing that you mentioned a think prior to we hopped on, you might have mentioned it while we were watching the game, though, was that you'd like to see some upgrades at cornerback. I'd actually like to see if we can go after Asante Samuel Jr. I'm not sure how realistic that is. I don't want to beat
that neck injury scares me. I got titanium in my neck right now, and it's like Peyton Manning. He was like he played quarterback, but that's low impact. But that corner spot, that neck, man, it messes with your nerves. See, a lot of people don't understand that it can mess with your nerves. So that would scare me. I would be more up to go. Like I told you, I threw it out there earlier. Maybe a Stephon Gilmore if we could get the money. But if you go get Asante, you got to pay him anyway. You got to pay him. You got to get him some bread.
Well, I think the injury is going to keep you at a point where you don't have to really break the bank. You can at least get him on a prove it contract. Show me what you really are working with type of contract.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But with Stephon Gilmore, he might take the vet minimum, and he can go out. He a plug and play. He done played in multiple defenses, so it's not like we had to do no additional talk. It's just a resolve for now. Just to fix it for now. But Sante would be more long term, honestly. Like he'd be more long term. Hopefully that neck, it'll be like a hope. Okay, I hope. I don't want to go sink too much deep into it. Cause like I say, I'm looking at just in the draft. I think we just could tough it out with Mike Hughes, which I don't. I mean, Mike Hughes, the offer. Let's be real. To his credit, he's a much better corner than he is a slot or a safety. He can actually play corner way better. The only thing that he lags at is he probably just undersized, and there ain't no getting around that. We don't have the luxury of having Clark Phillips. Clark Phillips, he's not a big guy. He's an undersized guy, but he's a great tackle, an absolute great tackle. So those are some things. So we definitely need to go into the draft and get some big physical corners. I don't care if you go in the Kobe Bryant, we still got him, but he's been hurt. He's not been able to do anything with all these injuries he keep bumping into. But he's not like the biggest guy either, though. So we definitely I'm with you on that 100%. I think that needs to be our focal point going into the draft. Find that corner. Get us a corner.
1 second. That's Doe actually calling us now.
All right.
Doe, what's up, man? No worries. Do you wanna hop into the stream now? I don't know, man. We got a good. We not about to end it right this second. So we had a little bit of technical difficulties early on with.
Tell the man, stop acting like that. Come on, get
out
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you in the chat. Yeah, we're gonna have our boy Doe probably hop on as well. So right now, I'm gonna assume that cornerback is your biggest area of weakness that you don't like with the team right now. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's a great assumption because that's correct. I think that is probably a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and we got to get these kind of Stingley type of guys like that can come up and just get in your face corners. You know what I'm saying? Lattimore, Stingley's type players. We need that. And once we get AJ back, that man he's been a Timex Rolex type of player for us, man. He hadn't missed a lot of playing time at all. He gets dinged up, and it's just like what, you know what I'm saying, and that makes it harder. Right now, we just kind of making do with what we got. But some of the better teams, like if you go, anytime you build a team, Simo, you got to build a team to beat the best team in your division. And the thing that Tampa has, which is who is the best team, they got receivers. They got Godwin, they got Evans, and what's that boy what's his name? Was it Ibuka? Yeah. And Mecca Ibuka, and he made a spectacular play today. So I'm like, he didn't. It's just not just us. He doing that to everybody. So
yeah, Ibuka, quiet as kept. And this might be a little hot take, and I might be jumping out on a limb a little bit. I don't think it's that far-fetched at all. But Ibuka, when it's all said and done, might wind up being better than what Mike Evans can bring to the table for you because he can pretty much do so much of everything that you. And we're actually streaming, guys, while there's still games on. Right now, I'm sitting here looking at this Lamar Jackson and the Ravens playing against the Chiefs. Yeah. And see, a lot of people they complain about the Falcons a lot in the fashion with which we win or lose. But I think that it could be a lot worse for you today if you're a Falcons fan. You could be a Jets fan.
What?
You could be a Giants fan. You could be an Arizona Cardinals fan. And again, I don't want to sound like the kettle calling the pot black or the pot calling the kettle black. But there are some teams that are a bit worse than us. And I'm not saying at least we're not them. But I feel like a lot of our issues at times, we've gone down with the ship trying to make good decisions or trying to at least win. It's not as though we're just trying to put fill up seats out there at the stadium. I never have gotten that type of vibe or feel from Arthur Blank. I think it's just a matter of, whether the decisions that they make are good enough with some of it. But I really like where this team is at right now, and hopefully we will gel a lot better after the bye week. When we come back from the bye, we will have immediately. It's going to be the Bills. We got Buffalo right away, but we also have our next few opponents after that, and we're just going to go ahead and pull up
schedule.
The actual schedule, right?
It's kind of like seemingly the second half after the bye, it gets a little bit more tangible to win on a week-to-week basis. And that's how I look. I don't look past no team. I'm not doing that. I'm just not you're not going to ever get me to do that. But just something to pull it up too.
And I'm okay with it. I mean, it's okay for us to look ahead because we're not playing. We're not playing these guys.
Yeah.
I think we need to keep our mental and mentality grounded. But our next few opponents, we got the bye week coming up in week 5. Then we have Washington, San Francisco, Miami, New England, and Indianapolis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are our next 5 opponents. And if you're a good coach or if you're a player, you're usually thinking about the season in quarters. Back when it was 16 games, it was 4 games here, 4 games here, 4 games, 4 games. So now we're in a 17-game season, so it's every 4 or 5 games, if you will. But those are going to be some tough opponents as well too. Buffalo's going to give us every bit of what we were asking for. That this is going to be a test amongst tests as we come to play them after the bye week. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen. They could have some injuries that happen in between there. But I do think that we could potentially beat Buffalo. I think we're a lot better equipped to play against them and play against any mobile quarterback. I don't feel like our success is only because of some of the competition we've had. Now, I do think that Buffalo is probably going to be the first team that hits over that 300 total offense mark for us. But I think that we could easily put Josh Allen into a bad day. We could easily have a couple of guys get some sacks or get a few strip sacks because of the way he extends plays. And I don't feel as though their tight ends are going to give us the trouble that some of these other teams have given us in the past. I don't necessarily feel as though their running backs in the back out of the backfield is going to give us quite the same trouble that some of these other teams have given us. Of course, again, Josh Allen is a force multiplier. It makes that whole team better. Everybody on that offense a lot better than if they had somebody else like, I don't even want to name other quarterback names because I don't want to sound disparaging to anybody. But San Francisco after that. That's a tough team for us to play, especially if they have Brock Purdy back into the mix. They've got some really good receivers in Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall is having a pretty good year. I think I'm saying his name right. Pearsall?
Yes, Pearsall, the Florida.
First round draft pick, bottom of the third of the first round, but still a first round draft pick nonetheless. And he's a guy who I have on my.
I think he was 32nd, right? I think it was Xavier Watts and then him.
I feel like it was 31 or 32. No, we got Watts in the you don't mean Watts, you meant You meant to say
Xavier Leggett. I'm saying Xavier Leggett.
okay.
That's it was Xavier Leggett, then Pierce. I think Pearsall was the very last pick in the draft, if I'm not mistaken, because I think the 49ers traded back up
Yeah.
in the first round to get him.
It's one of them. It's either 31 or 32, but 31 is 32. 32 is 31, essentially. But that defense can cause some fits as well too. They do still have some good guys that they lost a few of their key players and some of their key stars, but not a bad team. Miami is a team that they have a lot of offensive weapons. Again, I don't think there's anybody on our schedule that we need to necessarily fear. Buffalo is by far the best team that we will be playing in the regular season this year so far. Anyway, we will see what happens as the season progresses.
Yeah, on paper, I agree. On paper,
on paper,
I think the best team is Tampa. That's just my opinion. I think the best team we gonna play is Tampa.
Interesting. You know, I don't feel as though Tampa is necessarily better than us. I think that they're accomplished. I think that they have a lot more experience, and they have definitely been playing better ball so far. But I think that we're one of those teams that we can definitely, turn that corner.
They are more cohesive. That's the only, but they're better. I don't think roster wise, like even though we're very young, I don't think there's too many teams out there that's better than us.
100%.
So it's hard to be better than us. Like a lot of people don't give us credit because of our history, but man, fuck that. I mean, history is made to be broken. I mean, like records are made to be broken. So it's like that's just. I mean, all we got to do is get that behind us, and then there's like seemingly like you got to look at the matchup because I'm hearing you talk about Buffalo and you talking about offense versus defense, but then we got to look at our offense versus their defense, and I think that's where we win at. If our offense come to play, if we run the ball and just take what they give us, beat them. And then our field goal, just everybody, they complained about the field goals and with the Vikings. No, let's just beat them in the field goal. Let's just beat them. Come out of there with a win. That's all we got to do. And we beat Buffalo. Like you say, we are built to stop a scrambling quarterback. And that's where Josh Allen gonna get off on you at. So if we use those guys, all those 4-4 guys that come off the edge, because I think everybody, including Leonard, Floyd, all them guys is in the sub 4-5s and stuff like that. So just play the game that we came to play.
Absolutely.
They don't have like no high end wide receivers that gonna just take the roof off and not a Jefferson or Jamar Chase or something like that. They don't have that type of ball play. They rely heavy on the tight end, very heavy on the tight end. So if we can get like guys like Bowman and Xavier Watt and even Jesse Bates. Jesse Bates been quiet because these guys been balling. Jesse Bates ain't had to do that much because everybody been balling so hard.
Yeah, and I feel like Jesse, of course, he's getting a little bit older. I don't necessarily want to accuse him of having lost a step or anything.
A little longer than two, he ain't lost nothing.
I mean, I think he's like maybe 28 or 29. So he's still probably has plenty of speed. And still on top of his game, he's been amazing in the run defense area. He's had a couple of issues with some of the pass coverage. He's been kind of about middle of the pack, almost close to average. If you're going off of PFF rankings, I think he's been better than what PFF would say. Like you said, he hasn't had to do as much, so he doesn't have to pop out on tape. But I couldn't be more thrilled at what we have in the rookies, Xavier Watts and Billy Bowman. Watts coming up with another interception today. That gives him 2 on the year. Billy Bowman has an interception. He almost had 2. There's a couple of in the Minnesota game. He came up with 1. There was another one they ruled not an interception. But he's also had a couple of the plays where he came close to making an interception as well too. Those guys have been like a godsend. Just to be
they balling.
Yeah, they're
legit balling, man.
They're definitely playing.
It's hard to believe they even rookies because they're even though they do still do some rookie stuff, but it's like they're not just advertently playing like they making veteran plays.
Definitely making veteran plays. I'm not sure how much better they can get, or how much better they will get.
They're gonna get better.
Well, you would assume, right? I don't want to just assume that like they could easily be capping out and this is just where they are for the rest of their career, but. Again, they're playing like a 5 or 6 year veteran. So,
right. So let me tell you why I say they're gonna get better. Because just the game itself. You know, like if you be around something and you just doing something just like this podcasting, or if you're a truck driver, you know, the more you do it, the more repetitions you get, it's
Yep.
gonna become more like more you're gonna be more conscious. It's gonna be more like just, and that's where the better gonna come in, because they'll be able to dissect things quicker. They'll be able to read. They'll be, once they get more used to bricks, because this is his first, you know, first year defense coordinator with them. Once they get more affluent with what he's doing or what he's looking for, you can just play fast without a little less of the trying to think before the pre-snap thinking. That goes away. So I'm not saying they will get necessarily more athletic, bigger, stronger, whatever. I'm saying that they will get better because they understand just the game in
Cerebrally.
it. Just that quick, that react, boom, 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 like Ray.
Definitely feel as though things not biting on certain play fakes, not giving up certain things in
That's it.
coverage. If we go back to the first game when we played against the Buccaneers, the all 22 or the next gen stats have says that the first touchdown that Ibuka scored, where they ran
Hmm.
across the formation, was actually on Watts, who almost made an interception on that play.
Yeah,
So
he jumped up and it just, the ball he barely got it. I saw that. Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
so to be a guy that's even in the vicinity of close to where you need to be at, I mean, no, you got to take your hat off to, unfortunately, to Tampa on that play. Baker made a really
Yeah,
good throw, and Ibuka
yeah,
ran
he
a really
did.
good route, and
Yeah,
that was really schemed up and coached up well based on what we were going to do. But at the same time, it could have been an interception, and I think as the year goes on, there's going to be a lot more of that we're going to get in on. Let me ask you this: what do you think the interception totals will be for Watts and Bowman at the end of the year? At least Watts, anyway. It's kind of hard to speculate at the nickel
yeah.
position.
Well, Watts is at 2 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna go out on a limb here. High end 8,
Eight?
low end, yeah. I'm gonna
Man,
put that at his high end,
that would be huge, yeah. Because
and he
five or
got
six is
2
pretty good
already. Yeah, 5. That's on the. I'm doing that for the low end. To
for the
be
low
honest
end.
with you,
Right?
he got 2. He got 2 right now. And the fact that he got 2 right now, that's kind of huge. So it's
So,
like, and he's averaging it, like he's averaging one every other game, right? So
right.
if you do it on the average that he's at, that's 8. That's the high end. So I'm doing the low end 5.
If he comes out and he gets you 5 or 6 interceptions on the year, I, I'm pretty certain that he's gonna probably be defensive rookie of
Ooh, ooh,
the year. Now it would take for somebody else to, uh, be like a 10 sack guy or something like that, or put up a lot of sacks. But if Watts again messes around anywhere between 5 and 8 interceptions, could potentially put him in the running for defensive rookie of the year, especially if we're a playoff team. Especially if
ooh,
we're a playoff team, because
ooh.
it's like night and day looking at what he brings to the table versus us having Justin Simmons, who was out there last year. And I even think I love DeMarco Hellens. I love the aggressiveness he plays with, but he does not have the ball hawking capability that Watts has.
Right.
It's
I
not
agree.
happening, and hell, even if Watts had to play in the nickel a little bit, which again, that's not where his strong suit is necessarily. He's played some there in college, but yeah, I
Right.
just don't. I don't think. Yeah, I think that he's been one of the biggest, and it's so hard to pinpoint one guy, and I love that. I love that that we have several guys who are really playing and doing their jobs, having several guys that are playmakers or whatnot. So it's kind of really hard to say even who our defensive MVP has been so far this year. Again, I do lean toward Harrison, Zach Harrison, as one of
Right.
those type of guys because he plays all up and down the line for you. But
Right.
it should be interesting. So it's great that we don't have a game coming up this week. We will get back to the all 22 double check and see what we have in some of the plays that Penix had. I believe that he's going to definitely continue progressing and getting better as well this season as well too. There's a lot of people who call Penix a mid quarterback or saying that Kirk should be out there instead. I respect.
Yeah, I totally disagree with. Once you give him the start, you got to let him run it.
Yeah, and these are really stupid. I mean, respectfully, they're really.
Yeah, they're respectfully stupid because that
right.
is like honestly, I mean, you try to be politically correct by some of this stuff, but some of these guys make some bonehead comments like in real time, and you be like, okay, yeah, I mean, this is just not realistic to say that man is like, I'm gonna bench Penix for Kirk Cousins at this point in time. It's just not gonna happen.
I mean, on Matt Ryan's podcast, I think the guy was asking, why can't Kirk compete for a position? It's like, nah, man, Kirk had his chance last year to compete. You're gonna ruin the young player if you put him in jeopardy of losing his job at this point, especially so soon in the season. But once this team gets completely clicking on all cylinders, it's going to be really exciting to see. I mean, in my opinion, it's already exciting to see. But when we have less of the mishaps, it's going to be amazing. I think that Bijan himself could potentially be an All-Pro this year as well, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me and my dad were having this comment when I was telling him last year that I thought Bijan was the best running back in the league. And we had this comment after the season as well, too. He's like, oh, you don't like King Henry? And I was like, listen, I like Derrick Henry. He's really good, but he fumbles the ball.
He's not playing very well now.
He's not. He fumbles more than I would like for him to. And when you're a running back that's not, a threat in the passing game, like you got to especially hold on to the ball because you open yourself up to, well, okay, I'll run the ball with my receiving back if he's just somewhat average as long as he doesn't fumble it. He can give me 2 to 3 yards. Sometimes the fact that I will run it with him and that I can, mess around and dink off to him.
Right.
That changes things a lot.
Right.
What up, Jay?
Yeah, he come on in because this team don't play the 8:15 anyway tonight.
What's going on?
Right. Look, you nervous about that team, huh? They got you smoking cigarettes already, huh?
They won it. They 1-2. They 1-2.
Hey, we the best 1-2 team in the NFL right now, man.
That's only because the Falcons ain't 1-2 no more.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Who y'all got tonight with the Broncos, man?
Sertan who?
Oh, we got Cincy tomorrow.
Ooh, Cincy got the nasty natty.
Oh, I thought y'all played tonight. I done looked at it wrong. Y'all got the Jets got the Monday night game.
Oh yeah, it's prime time tonight, baby. Hey,
yeah, y'all got the 8:00 game. Yeah, 8:15. I told you 8:15.
Yeah.
Y'all got Cincy tonight, my guy. But Joe Burrows is out, so y'all should manslaughter them.
Yeah, we should make. I think the 2 games that we did lose, man, we lost both games by a walk-off field goal caused by penalties at the end of the game. Caused by a penalty, both games.
J-Bo,
man, y'all got the best secondary.
What would you say? What was the biggest thing that you liked in today's game when you watched the Falcons, and what was the biggest thing that you would like to see changed up?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, we spoke about it earlier. Just a little bit more utilization to the running backs, both of them. Not necessarily having spreading the love as the carries, but just implement that you want to run the ball.
Right. Yeah, I do love that. Today we ran the ball, I believe, 37 times.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, let me actually pull it up for you guys. I just had the stats up for the schedule up for everybody. But we pop into the box score over here. Yeah, we ran 37 times. We ran it with Bijan 17 and Tyler Algier 16. 75 and 51.
Carries. I didn't realize he had that many carries, but it was
especially as we got to the red zone. They gave him more carries, and as the game got later, they started giving him some more carries as well too.
Probably with Bijan, they were mixing him in more with.
Yep. And if you look at it, both of those guys got touchdowns too.
This is true.
Yep. Yeah, they did. Yes, they
Nothing
did.
wrong with a rushing touchdown. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a rushing touchdown.
If you wanna, if you still want to groom Michael Penix in there, but still put him on the field as a starter, run the ball. That's a great learning tool, great safety net also, run the
That's true.
ball,
Yeah.
run the ball.
In a perfect world for me, I would like to see the stat line we had today for Michael Penix. Um, Penix himself, we were what 20 for 26 with 313 passing yards, one interception, two touchdowns. Um, Not the greatest game,
I
but
think
not
his
bad.
passer rating was 76.4 or something like that, which is not bad at all.
And I can live with that. I can live with that. I've told people that I thought that he was the best quarterback in our division. I don't necessarily need to see him statistically do that this year, be the best quarterback statistically this year. But as long as he is a tremendous upgrade over what we've had in our quarterback position so far over the
Right,
last 4 years or so. Even going back to when we had Matt Ryan for the last couple of years that he was here, because Matt Ryan could not make some of the plays that Penix is able to make.
right,
And because of
right.
that,
Absolutely.
he left some things on the table. And when he did
Yeah,
try to
you
make some of
did.
those plays, he left some things on the table for other people to eat on the other team. So
Yeah.
Right.
there's that aspect of it as well too. But I really like what Penix is able to do out there for us. If we don't make him throw the ball more than 30, 35 times a game, again, I would never complain again, because if we get to 25, which is kind of our magical number, and I think that's a magical number for a lot of teams in this NFL, being able to run the ball 20, 25 times or so, put your offense in a different unpredictability. But if we can get up to 30, 35, that's huge.
In order to do that, we got to make sure no penalties. Uh, like I said, I like leaning heavy on the run, and then I can go with the check down, hit the check downs, but see, in Pitts, the fact that Pitts is playing the way he is, can't that's another honorable mention. Gotta throw him in there, because
Agreed.
Pitts is definitely making it where this offense can do the things that they do.
But
Mm-hmm.
will he be consistent is the question.
Well, he's
Will
been
he
I
be
don't.
consistent so far.
consistent?
He
I
has been
was.
consistent so far.
I'll
Uh,
add to that. I add to that. Pitt, it's never been. It's never been consistent with him. It's been inconsistent with the quarterbacks. He's never been the issue in my opinion. It's always been since he got here. This quarterback situation has been nothing but a problem. There's been nothing but issues.
Agreed. Agreed. Penix, I mean, not Penix, Pitts. He's he's not necessarily been the greatest. I'm not gonna try to hold you guys and make it sound like I think he's Brock Bowers or anything like that. But we
Right.
don't necessarily need him to be. I think for a lot of fans, they want to see him be a 1,000-yard receiver consistently at least, and do some of the things that Brock Bowers has done because of where he was drafted at. Unfortunately, Pitts cannot control where he was drafted at, but I think that he can definitely be not a bust moving forward,
Right.
and definitely be an X factor tight end, and essentially one
If
of the
you
better tight ends in the league for a while.
and if you look
right.
at it, when we drafted him, he wasn't 1,000 yard guy coming out of college. He was 700, 800 yards coming out of college.
Right. Well, that's
So
huge in
I
college.
mean,
That almost makes you
yeah,
a 1,000-yard
that's
guy.
major. Right. But it's like, I mean, we gonna move the goalposts on it. Like Brock Bowers is like, Brock Bowers is a phenomenal player. And I mean, if we could have waited it out, then okay, that'd been great to get him. But that's Brock Bowers and Pitts, they just not the same guy. So what Pitts does for us, he's opening up some avenues for us. He's playing really good football right now.
Well,
So I think,
I get the frustration from the fans, even the frustration from me not being a Falcon fan and all. But when you see what he did in Florida, I guess the people was thinking he was going to transition to the NFL, which it looked like he was on pace to do until he got hurt. I think he never really just been the same since he came off that injury. I think he had one good year when he came back out the injury, right?
That first year, no, that first year was his best year. You talking about when he gained almost 1,000 yards? It was
Yeah, he's
like
not
40, 50
necessarily been.
yards short of.
Yeah, that first year we had with Matt Ryan, he hasn't really been that good since then. I mean, haven't been terrible, but I think last year it was a little over 600 yards. The
It was
year
like
after the
six,
injury, I
seven
think
hundred yards.
yeah, I think the year after the injury might have been about 6 or something as well too. Let's
Right.
as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and do a little researching. We're gonna get that on the screen
I
real quick for
You
the
can
people.
go. You can go all the way back to college though if you want to really do it big, because it was like 780 yards average. But it
So
was just
I said
it
I
wasn't the number, the bulk. It was the type of plays he was making. I think that's what had everybody up in arms.
I still don't think he's a tight end. I mean, I know
mm,
he's probably not the best route runner if you was to change him, if you was to get him out of that tight end position. But honestly, I think he's not a tight end to me.
what is he?
Especially
Yeah, that's my question. If he ain't a tight end, what you gonna call it?
Hey, cause look, he's
if
definitely
if
improved his
if
blocking.
if 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 he was probably in another system, or if he was in a system with a two tight end set, or offense who ran two tight ends a lot, he may can be a little better. I think to me, I honestly just don't. I guess because of his frame, what I'm saying? Most quarterbacks like that big wide body in the middle of the field, that big wide body, on the curl or the end, or something like that where he can hit, Pitts is that slender, tall kind of cat with, what I'm saying? Linebackers can really, chip him, bump him a little bit, get in front of him, then you can't find him no more. I think that's what happened. I think that's what was happening to him these last couple of years. I think he was just getting lost in the sauce, man. I mean, he's a big receiver, but he's not a wide guy. He's not that Hawkinson or that who else I can compare him to? I can't really compare him to Kelsey, because Kelsey, he's a shadow of himself right now. But just that bigger tight end, just that wider tight end that can just speared off them linebackers. I think that's one of the reasons he's not having a big success, because he's just not one of those bigger type of tight ends. He's really what you call what can I call him? He's a hybrid.
Yeah, so you basically have to redefine his position, is what you're saying. You just can't. He's
Exactly.
not traditional. He's something
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, he's
I
something different. Hey,
right.
maybe if he did go to another team or went to another system that probably could utilize him better, because if he's anything like he was when he first came in, you you make him blame, just like y'all was saying, you make him blame quarterback, you make him blame the offense.
Right.
I absolutely blame the quarterback, because our quarterback situation has not been a good. So,
Quarterback is
but
definitely.
now that you get him on the outside, you get him running them outside, because all he's tearing their ass up. He tears them up on the seam route, and he tears them up on the outside check down. The day he did like a tight end spill, I've never seen it. But he didn't. Most time when they spill, they just go up 5 or 6 paces, then turn around and fall. They didn't do him like that.
Hmm.
They kind of ran a back shoulder fade with him. He bodied the dude up, ran the back shoulder, and caught it. And I was like, that was awesome. That's the type of shit he gonna get off on.
And if we look at the stats, just even going back to because we were talking about what he's done as far as his total so far. First year, of course, 110 targets for 68 receptions, 1,000 yards and 1,026 yards, one touchdown. That was his best year by far so far. Not necessarily in the touchdown department. We wanted to see more of that, but of course he gets hurt the next year. 356, then it's 667. And that's in Arthur Smith's offense when they're not even getting him the ball. Everybody was talking about Jonnu Smith. Yeah.
Because he even did when he had Cordell Patterson, it was like Cordell was lighting it up. Then all of a sudden, where's Cordell? What's up with the Cordell thing? And he was
Now,
just absent.
now I gotta give him some credit on Cordell. Cordero Patterson. Cordero was hurt. Was not hurt. He was a guy that was toward the end of his career, and
Right.
he's not ever been a running back type of guy. He's never been the type of running back that you could turn around and give him like 15 to 20 carries a game.
Right.
He's gonna
I agree.
he just ironically.
But he didn't use him at all though. He just got completely.
That first year they did use him a lot though. It seemed like
They did. They used him like he was all we had the first year. That was when we was in cap hell because we got rid of Matt Ryan and we was $42 million in cap degradation. It was like there was just nothing. There was no getting around it. We kept kicking the can down the road. Then they traded Matt to the Colts.
Indy.
Yeah, they traded, and so we was in that. So we just had everybody who was on the preseason squad. They made the team that year. So that was
Right.
what that was. And then after that, it was just like we started getting a few players. Like say you brought in Justice Simmons and all that. That was after Arthur Smith left, but we started getting a player here and there. I think Jeffrey Okuda was probably the number one free agent that we was able to get, and he wasn't all that. He just flat wouldn't come up. Somebody that got hurt on this Baltimore.
And
Yeah.
even when we look, if we go back to his stats last year, I mean, last year he had 47 receptions for 602 yards, which is actually pretty good when you consider the amount of yardage that he has for the receptions. It's not good that he only had 47 receptions, but what he did with those 47 receptions was very good. I definitely feel as though, of course, they should have given him a lot more receptions and put the ball through a lot more plays for him. But as of right now, I mean, he's already at 20 receptions this year on 24 targets and 205 yards. His whole his average is down a little bit because he's only averaging 10 yards per carry. But through 4 games, 20 receptions, that's 5 receptions a game. Right now, he's on track for 85 receptions this year.
Wow.
If he gets you 5 receptions every game from here on out, he's going to give you 85 receptions, and I don't have any reason to feel as though they're going to give him less targets than he's been getting.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. I mean, I could see there is a chance that Ray McCloud starts to get more, more targets and more receptions. But last year I didn't feel like Ray was justifiably better than Pitts in terms of like what he does when he has the ball in his hand, or the type of mismatches, or how he stresses the defense. As of right now, Ray only has 64 yards on 6 receptions.
Right.
And to be honest, I mean, I kind of feel like Ray as our third receiver is a little bit of a liability. I think we overachieved last year a little bit with considering what our wide receiver core is. We're not a team built to play from behind. We're not a big play, take the top off of the defense type of team. Mooney is our deep threat, and he stretches the field for us. But on a lot of teams, he would be the intermediate guy. I heard them talking about in the Doubler game earlier today how with the Vikings, Jordan Andersen is that guy that he's their deep guy that takes the top off the defense, and Jordan Jefferson, believe it or not, is the intermediate guy that runs a lot more of those intermediate routes. Now, Justin Jefferson can take the top off of the defense.
Oh yeah. He's a most definitely 50-50 receiver now. He'll go get it now. You know that. He's a 50-50 ball receiver. Most definitely.
Yeah. Might be the best receiver in the league. I guess it depends on how you feel about Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I was just finna say that you gonna get into an argument about that. That's gonna be an argument between him and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is more polished than Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, man.
He'll light you up, but I think Jamar Chase is just a little more polished.
Yeah, man. Jamar Chase a vacuum, man. Like anything coming his way, he catches. He's a possession receiver. He's a deep guy. He's a touchdown, red zone guy. He's everything rolled up in one. He got the total package. He
Yeah.
has the
Right.
total package.
I definitely feel as though there's more that you can do with him offensively than Jordan Jefferson. I think Jordan Jefferson gives you some things that Jamar Chase doesn't give you as well too. Like you said, being a 50-50 ball type of guy, the high point ball is probably a little bit better. But I think Jamar Chase. When you look at him, the way he runs, he almost runs like a running back. He has really good vision.
Yeah.
He runs through guys. I mean, I was thinking he was like 6 foot 220, but I think he's just right around that 200 mark. So he's about the average, a decent size for a number one receiver. The average size of a number one receiver, being 6 feet tall, he's gonna get problems.
Right.
A lot of different guys with that speed that he has.
Jamar Chase ain't but 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
He plays much bigger than that.
He might be 6'1". He might be close to 6'1", but I mean, I can't imagine.
I'm just talking about how he plays. I'm talking about how he plays.
No
Like,
doubt. That's what I was saying. I was
so
like, man, he's
big.
only 6'1". I thought he was a lot.
Right, he's like kind of like a Malik Neighbors type of dude. Malik Neighbors,
Exactly.
You would never believe
Yeah.
he's a small guy. You would thought he was a 6'3" dude where he played.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase is only 25 years old right now as well too. So he's definitely in there when you wanted to be with it.
Yeah, that's yeah. He gonna get his bag too, just like him and. But this is crazy because both of them jokers was at LSU at the same time. That just was crazy. That's just I still can't get over that. Both of them jokers were at the same college at the same time. That's when they beat Clemson for the national championship.
Then Chase did he sit out his last year eligibility?
He set out that last year.
That's what I thought.
That's why I think we kind of went with Pitts in front because I already knew what he was. I was like, what are we doing?
So if we look at the standings right now in the NFC South, Tampa Bay, still at the top of the division, is 3-1 with their loss today that they had. We are 2-2. Carolina's 1-3. And the Paper Bag Boys, the original Paper Bag Boys, are over there with at 0.
They undefeated in wins.
They are undefeated in wins.
They undefeated in wins.
So we can keep where we are at. We are either going to win the division or we're going to probably be a wild card team. I think our win total by the end of the year can definitely be in that 9-win sector. I think that we are a fringe 10 or 11 team, or a fringe.
I think that would be realistic. 10, 11. I think that's a very realistic.
11 might be a little wishful, for certain. Just
11 is a stretch. I think 11 is a stretch. 10, I think 10 is realistic.
10 might even be a stretch depending on how you look at it. But I mean, it could go either way. We could come out of the bye week firing all cylinders. As we said earlier,
that has happened before.
Yeah.
That has definitely happened before.
You definitely want to be playing your best football later in the year. So we're going to see what happens with that. But so far, man, I'm happy with the way we bounced back from that loss. That was a way to really respond and answer the call. Mariota looked better playing this game than he looked for us the whole time that he was here in the West.
Yes. But to his credit, because just let's be real, but you got to go look at what they did last week too, because they smacked them boys last week. Who did they play last week? I got because I know they smacked the crap out of them.
Was it not the Raiders that they played last week?
It was the who?
I want to say it was the Raiders that they played last week. Who did the? Let's see who Washington had.
So it was the Raiders, and they smacked them boys 41-24.
They definitely got a lot out of their special teams last week. I don't think they're quite as good as what that was last week. Um, but you know, you gotta take your hat off to them and what they was able to do with that. And
Like,
even
you
this
can't.
week, that was
But
a
my
tough one.
point, the point to that is like they not like a garbage trash team. They won with Mariota. They was just if Mariota was just football, they wouldn't even pull that off last week. Even though
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
but
So
a little bit of veteran goes a long way in this league.
right, right. Look, J-Bo got his old crusty knuckles up in there.
Oh damn, my bad, man. Hey, sitting up here finna damn eat dinner. My bad.
I'm just messing with you, dog.
yeah, I'm about to go get mine in too,
Yeah,
both
yeah,
of
man. We
us.
gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream now, man. I'm gonna do I'll do a deep dive recap on the game in a couple of days as we go out.
Okay.
Initially, yeah, I love what we're getting out of this Falcons team right now. You got to be happy with it. Definitely, I'll take the 2-2 wins. There was a guy that I'm in another Facebook group with for Falcons, and he said that through our first 5 games, we were going to be 1-5 or 1-6 if I'm not mistaken. So
Right.
he
I've
got
seen that.
to eat those words now. Even if we go, 2-3 after
Won't
5.
win that another one. Right.
Yeah. So
You right.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm not mad at it. So, but
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys hopping on the stream right now. I'll do a little bit more number crunching. Check out the all 22. Everybody out there on the stream and checking us out on YouTube and on Facebook at Point Game Official. Definitely stay tuned, stay posted for the deep dive recap this week. Of course, we don't have a game this week, so we won't be streaming this week coming up. At least I don't believe we will. And we're definitely we won't have a pregame for this week as well either. But
Right.
definitely love where we are with this team, and I'm very excited, just to say the least.
Yeah. That was a good way to go into the back.
Yeah, it looked like we got Doe right here. Let me go ahead and see if he's still. He might have hung up. We might have missed him. Let's see. We're gonna let him say what up to everybody before he peace out. Yeah, we good. I'll tap in with him after this though. But appreciate everybody. We gonna wrap this show. See
Word up.
Game Official on the Falcons Bird Bath. Checking out, baby.
All right. One.
I'm out now.